there were people that were showing up to town halls who were getting involved in politics for the first time, who were starting to see an interest in issues that weren't being attended to. For Denny Heck, and he was asked about Medicare for All, and he wouldn't support H.R. 676, which, as you all know, is formerly John Conyers' bill in the House, but it will be taken over by Keith Ellison, who I think has stepped up to sponsor it next year. But what do you want to say to Denny Heck about Medicare for All and why it's important? And if you have anything else about this issue in particular, why he won't co-sponsor it, feel free to speak your mind, because I've been ranting about Denny Heck for a while, and now I think that you are the perfect person to tell us why he's not right for that seat.
Well, there's many reasons. Medicare for All is just one. So I'll say, as far as that's concerned, I was with many hundreds of people, and this didn't just happen once, but every town hall or gathering, the overwhelming sentiment from the people who literally are his employers. You know, we elect representatives to what? Represent. Represent what the people are wanting, not to, like he said to us, I have my own mind and you're not going to change it. Mm-hmm. And that he thought we were wrong for supporting Medicare for All. He gave a couple reasons why, which are completely unsubstantiated. For instance, he says, well, and this is fear now, the tactic of fear that's always used to move the people away from their own interests. He says, well, Medicare Advantage will go away. Well, what difference does it make if Medicare Advantage will go away? Because everything will be covered anyway. So, you know, that's like that double speak where people will get confused. Oh, we don't want Medicare Advantage to go away. You know, the people have to be educated. There's 643,000 people that go bankrupt because of medical expenses. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. When people say, well, how are we going to pay for it? That sentence that is just ridiculous at this point, especially because, Mike, do you ever hear anyone asking those questions? Well, we need $700 billion to fill an already bloated military budget. And then here's an extra 80 billion.
Yeah.
You know,
never, ever hear that question, ever.
Ever, right? And here's the thing. As far as military, I have friends who are soldiers and veterans. That money doesn't go for them and their families. They're still struggling. Some of them have to go to the food bank or in line, you know, getting food and, you know, struggling like everybody else. So make no mistake about it. That money and bloated budgets for no bid contracts are for the CEOs to line the pockets of these corporations, and not for the soldiers, not for the veterans. And, you know, Representative Heck, I use that term lightly and with all due respect, but the truth is, you are not, and I'm speaking to him, you are not representing the people of the 10th. The people of the 10th have made their voice very clear. We want Medicare for all. We want college for all. You have not signed on to that bill as well. You have not signed on to HB 1114 to expand Social Security when we have seniors right now having to choose, being filled with anxiety, whether they're going to eat well that month, have to ration their medication, in some cases life-saving medications, and whether they're going to be late again on the roof over their head. It should never come to that. Meanwhile, here in Thurston County, our homeless has doubled from 900 to 1,700 people. I've gone in amongst the encampments and seen human beings living in conditions that you would think are in some third world country. Why aren't you creating bills and legislations to make that a bad memory? We've got the capability to do it, and yet we have no willingness on the part of any legislator that I've seen that puts these kinds of concerns as tantamount.
Yeah, and one thing that's always strange to me about these conservative corporate Democrats in really blue states is that they think that they can get away with being conservative and pro-corporate. But I mean, you're in a generally blue state. I'm in Oregon, you're in Washington, we're neighbors. And there are Democrats who think that they can not co-sponsor Medicare for all in blue districts and can support fracking and can go along with the Republican Party's agenda and get away with it. And then when we ask them about it, they chalk it up to, oh, well, this is a difference of opinion. But if you actually look at who's financing the campaign of Denny Heck, well, it's clear it's large multinational corporations, it's health insurers. So clearly, he's not taking a stance against progressive issues because he's principled. It's clearly because he is sold out. So to me, it's always an outrage when they try to come up with these weird, like you said, double speak ways to explain away their corruption. Oh, it's, we don't want to lose Medicare Advantage. I've also heard it with regard to Obamacare. Well, if you want Medicare for all, then you must be against Obamacare. What does that even, why does that matter? If Obamacare goes away, we don't need Obamacare if we have Medicare for all. So I'm glad that you pointed that out, because that's one of the many things that frustrates me so much.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.